gone off some lurkers, common as cockroaches. And those poor tykes are food for perverts, like the blameless ants that wasps consume or spiders' feeble prey.
You visited my room at Rutledge. What were you...
You recall that? Radcliffe paid me for a bit. A woman alone sometimes does what she doesn't particularly feel like doing, as you know.
Nurse Whitler said you'd fallen on hard times.
I'm no drunk like her. I'm hurting no one. Hooking's not a bad life.
Except for the pimps. She also said you might have my rabbit. Please, Nanny, talk about...
The damn fire never seems to help. Look, Alice, I can't give you what I don't have. Radcliffe wrote the inquest report. I'll take you to him. Besides, he's got your damn rabbit, you should remember that.
All right, but Mr. Radcliffe's useless.
Don't I know it?
So here we are once again in London. Different part of town again, of course.
Ear to the ground, Bill.
Yeah, I've been scouting around. Nothing getting a minute. Place is crawling with rozzers since them bleeding murders.
Whose work was that?
You want to know that sort of thing? You got to know where to listen.
Bit shy today, ain't you?
I ain't you, dicky bird. Do your own fagging leg work.
Okay, so I do hope people notice the on the wagon ride here. There's the one scene where they passed the kids, and you had the other guys around them, and Nanny said that they're like ants for wasps, and food for perverts. So that should give you a pretty clear idea of the fate of the kids in that scene. And yes, that's probably pretty accurate.
For that, I'll be glad to shake your hand, sir.
Considering the nature of the goods on offer, it seems more than generous.
You do know the way to a girl's heart, don't you? And unless you open your purse a little wider, that's all you're gonna get.
Well, I'm sure we can work something out. You might get more if you stop talking.
Consider my lips sealed.
Oh no, dear. That wouldn't do at all.
And I'm going to kind of assume that you can make out that exchange.
Who is it?
Alice Liddell, Mr. Radcliffe.
Ah, you're back. I suppose you better come up. Mind the latch.
The ancient scroll is parchment, and the characters are drawn in Indian ink, which Radcliffe claims the Chinese invented aeons ago by mixing soot, lamp oil, gelatin of donkey skin, and musk. He does know some remarkable things. And yes, of course, the Chinese invented quite a lot of things long before anybody else really used them. Radcliffe, who can make even fascinating subjects boring, says the curved blade is a 16th century Meito katana, and the shorter sword is called wakizashi, both used by Japanese samurai. So now, this is one of the important points, and one of the memories, well actually now coming up here, I'll wait a bit. Just right up here, I think, yeah. Jean porcelain, Mr. Radcliffe says, is the Ming Dynasty's finest. Beautiful shapes, best colors, and most prized decorations. So, yeah, I mean, the point here, which you should be able to get, is he's collecting artifacts from Tokugawa, Japan, and from Chinese art. So, what Alice has here, she's seeing a lot of stuff from Japan and from China. Well, you know, traditional Japan and ancient China, anyway. You know, the Tokugawa period was the period where Japan closed herself off. From this point here, probably the previous 200 to 250 or 300 years from the mid-19th century. But the point is that I've seen a lot of people out there, you know, saying that, oh no, the next part, of course, coming up is going to be the Asian part, the Mysterious East, and I've seen a lot of people saying, oh no, you know, it's Japan, or I love Japanese culture because now Japanese culture is really popular around the world, and all this, or you know, somebody else will say, oh no, it's Chinese. Well, no, actually, it's a mishmash of, you know, both really, as well as probably other, you know, like inaccurate things, you know, because, you know, Westerners in America or Europe, you know, have bits and snippets from, you know, of knowledge about, you know, Japanese or Chinese or even like Korean or Vietnamese or whatever culture, you know, from, as, you know, it got called the Mysterious East or the Orient, you know, and you know, Alice, in her mental state, in her mind, all of this kind of runs together and gets mixed together. So it's not, you know, necessarily specifically Japan or specifically China. Those two are the main ones. Probably some other stuff mixed in there too. And an interesting thing with this next part coming up with the Mysterious East is, of course, I said this earlier, that because Spicy Horse, American McGee's, you know, studio is based in Shanghai, China, you've got a lot of Chinese programmers and artists and creative, you know, part of the creative team. So the next part is really kind of interesting because of that. So they obviously do know what they're doing, at least to some extent. You know, granted, this is like ancient or, you know, older tradition or whatever, but still. Probably more authentic than a lot of American artists would make it.
You do have my rabbit.
Forgotten your manners? And what else, I wonder? You abandoned it at Rutledge Asylum, my dear. We've been over this before. In a huff as usual, oozing with attitude and accusatory flummery, I've stolen her rabbit. Ridiculous pretext. She's here about the fire again. All the mad child wants to talk about. My report found her family dead by misadventure. She won't accept it. It goes on and on about her killing memories and her need to know the truth. The alleged truth is, the fire began in the library when the cat knocked over a lamp. The blaze trapped her parents and sister upstairs. Sister Lizzie never even unlocked her door. Died in her bed. The guilty cat always sets her off. She denies it, makes no sense, it can't be, etc. Agreed. From the outset, Alice was my candidate for the pyromaniac. The girl had a fixation with fire. I once remarked that I thought she might have had a larger role in causing the tragedy. She suffered some sort of psychotic episode.
Did I rip his head off? I wanted to. What's what's left of my brain will explode. Is it mad to pray for better hallucinations? Perhaps I'm fated to expire right here.
All movables and effects are gone. Nothing but dust, stains, and the smell of tobacco. No sign of the coroner's report, or my rabbit either. Damn him. So some of this I'll point out, I'm taking it slow because I want to show you the environments and stuff. The barricade discourages squatters, suggests he didn't sell up, just left quickly. I can't get through this way, but I recall the place had a door in back that opened on the lane. Now, by the way, I mean, the way that they are doing Alice's fixation on her rabbit in the sequel here, I have a very strong suspicion that probably there's some kind of a family treasure or heirloom or something of that nature attached to her rabbit, maybe stuffed inside of it or something like that. That's just conjecture, but it certainly would make sense, and that's why well, for her, it wouldn't be that she knows about it necessarily, so much as maybe her father told her to always keep it safe or whatever. But that may be why it wound up being such a treasured possession for her. You know, I thought I saw something here, and now I don't see it. There we go. I'm certain I've been here, but this view isn't even vaguely reminiscent. Perhaps there's some new construction. Perhaps it was summer. Perhaps I was distracted. Yeah. And so now it's winter. You might notice that's the mock turtle again. Now we have polluted mushrooms. More polluted mushrooms. Well, obviously, she isn't exactly in normal London.
Ruin! It's corrupting